Hello, and welcome to the We Recommend podcast, a movie podcast where every week we recommend a movie for you to watch and then come back here and listen to us discuss. I'm Jesse.
I'm Jason.
And vote for me. I'll make all your wildest dreams come true. Because this week we recommend Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, candy in my heels today.
What?
Got candy in my heels tonight.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So this movie changed a generation. I feel like in high school, it was all anyone could talk about whenever people found out about this movie. And it was just quoted constantly. Tina, eat your food.
Tina, you fat lard.
Oh, idiot.
So mad at that llama.
Yes. Yeah, Kip was a man. I mean, I couldn't, on the bus, I would get roasted for not knowing about this movie. And people were like, you haven't seen it? I was like, no, I haven't. I don't even know how to see this movie yet. It's like, I can't go to the theaters. I had to wait for it to come out, and I just bought it as soon as it came out, and then I watched it, and I was underwhelmed. I was like, wait a second. This insane, crazy, hilarious movie, and then it's just the driest offbeat humor. And I was like, oh man, people really should have told me about this movie before I went into it. But then it's like a movie that over time, every time you watch it, it's funnier and funnier and funnier.
Yeah,
and it's one of the most quotable movies ever.
I definitely, I saw it in theaters when I was in college, and it was, God, I saw it twice, back-to-back nights.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
God.
Loved it immediately.
I wish I got to see it. I wish it was a movie I saw before everyone else. I would have loved to have been the first person at school. Y'all should watch this movie.
But opening weekend, or maybe it wasn't the opening weekend, but when we went to the theater to see it in downtown Nashville, we were the only two people in the theater. Yeah,
I bet. I mean, it was such an indie movie. I don't think a lot of people heard about it. It was just a very word of mouth movie. Because I know it was made for $400,000. That's it. And grossed over $52 million.
That's awesome.
So, just one of the best grossing movies ever. So the film stars Jon Heder as Napoleon Dynamite. I'm sure you've seen a lot of his stuff. He kind of disappeared all of a sudden.
Like the one where they were
Blades of Glory.
the Little League gang, Little League baseball team.
Benchwarmers?
Oh, God.
Oh, dude, I love
that was ridiculous.
Benchwarmers. Yeah, but Blades of Glory, and I mean, really, that's...
Man, so funny.
I'm looking, oh, that's kind of it after Blades of Glory.
Some pretty big ones, though, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, and I know he had that run for a second, but he never really fully took advantage of it, it looks like, which kind of sucks.
Maybe he's just that kind of actor that says, all right, I'm done. I've made enough money.
Well, I mean, he's
live.
still doing stuff. It's just the most random stuff you've never heard of.
Oh, okay.
And then it also stars Efren Ramirez as Pedro, John Grizz as Uncle Rico, Aaron Ruell as Kip, Diedrich Bader as Rex, our boy, second time he's been on the podcast. Tina Majorno as Deb, and Sandy Martin as Grandma. Haley Duff as Summer Wheatley.
No shit.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
I know. This time I was like, wait a second. She looks so familiar. And I was like, oh, that's, what's her name? Hillary Duff's sister. But I love that Sandy Martin is also the grandma. She's the grandma, or she's the mom in It's Always Sunny Philadelphia.
Yeah.
She's
so always
funny.
Smoking.
Yeah.
She's so gross.
It's great.
Everybody goes over to try to have sex with her.
Yeah.
She's like, you're not my type.
It's like, you're not my type. It's like, what do you mean I'm not your type? So whenever this movie came out, was it something that you couldn't get away from for a while? How old, what, were you in college at this point?
I was in college. I was probably 19.
Nice. Because I was, I think, a sophomore in high school or junior. I know, it was great. It was great. So you were the one telling everybody about the movie instead of the opposite way?
Us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's awesome. I just wish they had... I mean, I'm assuming they probably actually make a lot of movies like this, but I wish there was some more that would pop out and be this great. But so the guy that plays Kip, Aaron Ruell, he suggested Kip Dynamite have braces in the film, and he assumed a makeup team would have some sort of fake braces device to glue to his teeth for the film, but it turns out he had to get real braces.
Oh, fuck.
He said they were the real deal and quite painful for the first week. They moved my teeth. They said this was only going to make them straighter or they wouldn't have set them on. So it's like, I love when people like, oh yeah, I actually got real braces for this and stuff like that. It's awesome.
But it helped him though, right?
Yeah, I got him into character. You know, that's why he won the Oscar for it.
He did?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
That would be wild. Be like, wow, what a breathtaking performance.
Yes.
Who's your favorite character in this?
I don't know. Maybe Deb.
Deb? Yeah, she's...
Oh, and apart from Napoleon, he's all...
Yeah, I was going to say Napoleon.
So I think maybe Deb is my second. Or, I don't know.
It's tough. I think Kip is probably my second.
Yeah.
And then Pedro.
Yes.
Freaking Rico, man.
They're so good.
So in order to deceive Japanese audiences, Fox changed the name to Busman in Japan in order to ride the coattails of another popular film in the country called Train Man. The two movies could not be more different, and Fox eventually apologized for deceiving Japanese audiences. What a boss move.
It sucks.
And so their dance was improvised. Heder says he had the first 8 counts sort of figured out, the shuffling essentially.
Yes.
But told Hess to play 3 different songs and he would dance to each one until he felt like puking. They played a Michael Jackson song and 2 Jamiroquai songs, eventually ending with Canned Heat by Jamiroquai. Heder says the 2 were obsessed with this artist at the time. Jamiroquai, what a time.
It's so funny that her cousin is Jamiroquai.
Yeah.
La Fonda's.
Oh, yeah. La Fonda. God, that's wild. So for the origin of Napoleon Dynamite's name, the filmmakers went to Brigham Young University, Jared and Jerusha.
Oh, so it's based on Mormons?
Yeah, that's, I guess so.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And so the 2 writers, which they're a married couple, were members of the Mormon church. While Jared was on his mission in Chicago, Hess met an Italian man named Napoleon Dynamite.
This sounds real.
And he says, now that's what I call a sign from God. Already told you. Oh, I guess it made $46 million at the box office.
It's pretty good.
Did you watch the post credits?
Yeah.
I didn't know it had post credits for the longest time. It had to be like 4 years ago when I rewatched it. I just let it play through the credits. I was like, what? Did not know. So La Fonda's real family appeared in the film.
That was so fucking good.
Hess called Chandrella Avery, who played La Fonda, and said, you remember that there were no black people in Preston, Idaho, right? Do you think your family might want to be in the movie? Avery agreed, resulting in many of her family members appearing in the post-credit scene at Kip and La Fonda's wedding. You know how there's no black people in this town? It's awesome. And Jerusha Hess had the idea of Napoleon to have a perm, but the hair studio he went to ended up making his curls too large so that he looked like Shirley Temple. Jared said, my wife and her cousin spent the whole night re-perming his hair until maybe 2 or 3 in the morning just doing a water perm. Then they told me that Jon couldn't wash his hair for the next 3 weeks, so he had this stinky do in the Idaho heat for 3 weeks where we were shooting near dairy farms, and there were tons of flies. They were all flying in and out of his hair.
Oh, God.
That's awesome.
Just imagine Napoleon Dynamite there. Just, oh, gosh, these flies.
Oh, stupid idiot flies. So Deb, she's based off the director's wife, which is Jerusha Hess. Apparently, this is what she was really like growing up as Deb.
Nice.
Her mom made her a dress when she was going to middle school dance, and she said, I hadn't really developed yet, so my mom overcompensated and made some very large, fluffy shoulders. Some guy dancing with her patted the sleeves and actually said, I like your sleeves. They're really big. Just like in the film. That's so great.
Yeah, she's adorable.
I know. And so Jon Heder, he was only paid $1,000 to be in this film, which is wild. And so this is originally a short film when they came up with the original idea. The original version of Napoleon Dynamite was actually a class project at Brigham Young University entitled Palooka. The entire film is in black and white, and Napoleon is named Seth, but the heart and energy stay the same. Hess and Heder shot the film in just 2 days in Hess's hometown of Preston, Idaho. But yeah, that's pretty much all the facts I got.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I love little small movies like this. Just like the idea of down very super indie movies, you just have like the writer and director and someone else working on the dude's hair for like 3 a.m. in the movie, just completely destroying their head of hair because of it. But I don't know. And there's another one. Idaho unanimously passed a bill praising Jared Hess and Jerusha Hess for making the film, citing amongst their reasons that the Preston High School administration and staff, particularly the cafeteria staff, have enjoyed notoriety and worldwide attention. Tater tots figuring prominently in the film had promoted Idaho's most famous export. That's so funny.
Such a great movie for potatoes.
Yeah, it really is.
God,
can I have your tots? God, love that. Tater tots just became so popular around this time because of this movie. It's awesome.
I'm going to have to counter on that one. Tater tots have always been the shit.
That's true. I'm actually not a big tot boy, but man, watching this movie, I'll always choose like French fries over tater tots. But this movie made me not want to choose French fries over tater tots. So is this what your high school life was like, though?
My high school?
Yeah.
I definitely...
Did you know any kids like Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah. Well, he shares... He has like... He's a collection of all of their weird characteristics in the one person.
When I see Napoleon Dynamite, I think, this is how I must have been in high school. There was no way I was not this quiet idiot kid. I definitely wasn't. I wasn't this funny.
Like, we had a guy that was
a quiet loser.
We had a guy that would lie to impress people all the time, and he was such a dork. Gosh, I couldn't stand. He couldn't stand being around him for more than 5 minutes.
Yeah,
it was horrible.
It's funny though, because there's some people that we know, and I feel like they're very similar to Napoleon Dynamite without the "oh gosh" type of thing, but very similar in personalities. Where it's like, yeah, man, you're the best. You could do anything.
Got so many skills.
Yeah, I killed 50 Wolverines, so with a 12 gauge shotgun.
What do you think?
All right, so we're gonna hop into the film. You ready, bro?
Sure.
So we start off with plates of food and items like books and wallets, just telling us the cast and crew, which is awesome.
Yeah,
reminds me of something like Wes Anderson would do, which I'm sure they were inspired by that a little bit. I just love it's always like
the Trapper Keeper. It's so 90s.
And it's Mexican food or steaks that's always being set down to. Or just like corn dogs and hot dogs.
Yeah, because we'll watch it. And every time they're in a cafeteria, they're eating some kind of hot dog.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Corn dog.
I mean, that's just like that's what our lunches were. We were just fed the best stuff in school, you know. So we start with Napoleon waiting for the bus. We just see him. He's this goofy-looking kid with glasses. He's always mouth breathing. His eyes are always halfway closed. And so he gets on the bus and he just goes to sit down. I love that he looks like a 30-year-old on a bus with like only elementary school teachers, which I'm pretty sure is just there to show you that he's uncool. He has no other ride but the bus to get to school.
Yeah,
that's what I just.
He's probably a senior.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And we have a kid. He's like, "What are you gonna do today, Napoleon?" "Whatever I feel like." Gosh. And then he ties a string to an action figure and just quickly throws it out. After watching this, me and my buddy at the time, we did this. We just took some of our wrestling action figures and he could drive. And I was like, all right, let's go down some like roads that no one drives down. And let's throw some action figures out. It's actually really fun. It's really fun.
No, I think because I had to ride the bus.
Yeah, me too.
For a very long time.
Very long time for me too.
And I would have loved to do something like this.
It would have been awesome. It wouldn't have worked because people would have noticed and be like, "Oh, Jesse." Then I got in trouble. So we then cut to him drawing in class. It's like this weird him riding a unicorn or something. Or just a bunch of unicorns.
Just several unicorns.
Yeah. They all look almost good.
Yeah.
It's because like you can see he can kind of draw, but it's just everything looks off. It's like if I could draw a little bit, that's what it would be like. He then goes up in front of the class and gives a speech about the Loch Ness. That Japanese are bombing it.
It was his current event.
Yeah, and then that the certain wizards were there to thank them for it and everything.
Oh, the wizards were casting protective spells over the lake to protect Nessie.
Thing is, that was probably real. It's probably something that did happen. Some Japanese people blowing something up, and then just some people. I'm a wizard. You're a wizard, Harry.
Oh yeah, I'm wearing my wizard hat.
Yeah, I saw that. I noticed it. That's what made me think of it. At recess, we see Napoleon just hit. What do you call where it's like a volleyball on a rope?
I don't remember.
He's playing that, and he's going hard at it. Tetherball. Yeah, and he's just dunking on it.
That's his favorite
It's
game.
so funny. We learned that last summer, Napoleon shot 50 Wolverines with a 12-gauge shotgun. He was asked by...
In Alaska.
Yeah. He was asked by some of the jocks, and I love it because the whole time he's just like, yeah, of course, you idiot. And then it immediately cuts to him being like a headlock by the same bully. It's so good. Love it. Napoleon then uses his phone. He goes up to the, I guess, like the secretary lady at the office.
I think it was, yeah.
And we learn that he's calling home because he doesn't feel good. And Kip answers. We meet Kip. Napoleon wants his grandma to get him, but she's not home. Kip puts on, we just see
he's making nachos.
And it's just like shredded cheese. It's so much. It's like a giant.
Well, when it first starts, he doesn't have a lot.
Yeah.
And then it cuts
every
back
time
to
it cuts back, it cuts bigger and bigger.
Yes.
Oh, it's so funny. Kip doesn't want to go to school to pick up Napoleon, but he just wants his. Can you at least bring my chapstick? Kip tells him to use the office chapstick. Like, oh, gross. And Kip, he's just this guy who has like a very soft and kind of feminine-esque voice, I would say.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's like, whatever, Napoleon. I don't want. I'm not coming. Just use the nurse's chapstick.
I'm kind of busy right now.
Yeah, come on. I'm online talking to chicks. I love him. He's such a player too. That's what really makes him cool. And then we meet Pedro. He's just getting talked to, I guess, by the principal. Napoleon comes up. Is he a new student or something? Napoleon shows him around. Napoleon tells him there are a bunch of gangs. He says, like, they all want me because I have all these skills. Then we cut to Pedro showing off his bike. He's like, oh, sweet bike. I bet you can do some sweet tricks on that.
It's a sledgehammer.
Yeah. And then so he's like, hey, can you do any sweet jumps? And he goes and jumps and he's like, cool, can I try? He just immediately like wrecks it. Like
breaks it. Racks his nuts on the bar.
Yeah. He's just that nerd that wants to do stuff, but he just has no hand-eye coordination or anything. It's like what was keeping me from going completely Napoleon in my life is that I was able to be a little athletic.
Yeah. I think that's what saved me as well.
Yeah. So we're back at Napoleon's house. Kip is typing a poem on his thing. He's just like, just texting some sweet nothings to a girl online. We learn his grandma is going on a trip. And so it's just going to be the boys at the house. What are we going to eat? Make a quesadilla.
We're out of steaks.
Or however how she says it.
Make yourself a dang quesadilla.
Yeah, exactly. Quesadilla. We learned that Kip is talking to girls online and training to be a cage fighter. Boy needs to put on some mass. He shows off his skills as they fight. So it's like he's just like, come on, Napoleon. Come on. Give me what you got. And she just like smacks.
There's like two cats.
Yeah. Then like Kip is like, Napoleon goes to like for a move. Kip slaps it and then slaps him right in the forehead. And then we hear the doorbell ring, and then Napoleon's like, oh, just smacks him in the face and runs to the doorbell. Then we meet the sweet and gentle Deb selling beauty supplies. Do you want to look like this? This is a girl.
I know, she's so it's adorable.
That's funny. She's got the side ponytail, which became very popular in high school. We see Rex's Kwon Do commercial.
Yes, it's so great.
He's got the strength of a grizzly, reflexes of a puma, and wisdom of a man.
You see in that when he says that he's strangling a woman?
Yeah.
Or he's got her in a headlock.
Yeah. And then after the commercial, we're back to Deb showing off bracelets and keychains. We learn that she's earning money for college. And then in the back, Kip, your mom goes to college. Then she just runs away and leaves all of her stuff there.
I hurt her feelings. Way to go, Kip.
And then we get the classic iconic line. I mean, like, we're already just hitting some of the most iconic things in the last, 20 years of filmmaking. And so we get the scene where he feeds Tina. Come on, Tina, you fat lord. Come eat some dinner. And then he throws some out. So apparently this was the director's mom's llama. Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. And so he starts throwing food down and like Tina's not budging. He's like, eat your food.
So mad at this llama.
So great. We see Kip, he's tying his rollerblades on, putting some rollerblades on. It'd be nice if you could pull me into town.
So why didn't he just rollerblade?
I don't know. It's so good.
His rollerblades are like bright green and purple.
Yeah.
Man.
And then so essentially they he hitches a ride on his bike to Rex's gym.
Did you see what was written on the wall behind Rex?
Oh no, I didn't see that.
It was on the top, it was like, you will respect Rex. You will respect Rex Kwon Do, and then I can't remember what the other one said.
I would totally go to this gym though. Seems pretty great. But yeah, and so Rex is just this big meathead that he talks like this. Welcome to Rex Kwon Do type of guy. He's asking for a volunteer, and Kip volunteers. Bow to your sensei. Kip tries to sweep his legs, but it doesn't work.
So slow.
Yeah. He's like, that was a nice move. Thanks. He's like, all right, he's going to go show him a move. So he goes like, grab my arm. Other arm. No, my other arm. He's like, all right, all I'm going to do is break the wrist and walk away. Break the wrist and walk away. He slaps his hand. It's like, I broke the wrist and then I walked away. Then Kip tries to kick him and just gets straight up smacked.
He smacks him in the
He's
head.
like, kick, and he blocks it with his leg every time, then just smacks the crap out of him.
This is how he trains people.
Yeah. And then Rex explains his rules. It's like, use the buddy system and discipline your image. And I like this because after this point, the buddy system, both Napoleon and Kip use this buddy system. Yeah, because Kip gets Uncle Rico, Napoleon gets Pedro.
Nice.
And discipline your image, which kind of comes in later for both of them, with Kip becoming kind of a gangster and Napoleon, I don't know, just
dancing,
getting into politics and wearing suits in his Vote for Pedro shirt.
Yeah.
But I love it where it's like, discipline your image. You think anyone wants a roundhouse kick when I'm wearing these bad boys? Because he's got the American flag.
And Napoleon goes, no.
No. And then he's like, next, learn about self-respect. Think anyone thinks I'm a failure because I go home to Starla every night?
She's like an American gladiator.
Yeah, she's huge. And so we cut to next day. Napoleon is going to school. And then we get like some guy has like his shotgun out and getting ready to shoot this cow. And then the school bus
full of children
as the gun goes off, they're all like, apparently for the director, this actually happened to him while he was on the school bus. And he said it happened often.
That's so funny.
And in class, we see some girls and Napoleon signing a song. That's where you get the classic like butterfly thing. It's so funny because we did this in church all the time growing up.
I remember doing it too.
It's so weird.
It was embarrassing.
It seems so normal. And then you see it happen in Napoleon Dynamite. And it's like, wait a second. Is this lame?
Yeah. So I was forced to go to church camp a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And at this one camp, you had to pick an activity. I chose American Sign Language.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool.
No, it was this.
Is this?
It was just this.
You actually didn't learn sign language.
Yeah.
You learned fake sound language.
We just learned a dance.
Yeah, we're just gonna do movements to words.
And they never say in the beginning, you will have to perform this in front of everyone on stage.
It's so odd. We're doing this like every Sunday almost. It's just like it seems so cool when we're doing it.
No, not for me.
Now, not so much. No, because we're doing like the exact same type of stuff, and it's like, oh. Wait, that looks really lame. So. But now we're in gym class. Napoleon is confirming that him and Pedro are now friends.
Hell
So
yeah.
we're like pretty much best friends right now. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to do
Pedro.
Pedro's voice. That's how you get canceled
Sure.
right there. But now it's the buddy system. Napoleon is asking if Pedro is going to the dance and who he's going with. He says he is going to ask Summer Wheatley, the school babe. I don't know. I'll bake her a cake or something.
Build her a cake.
Build her a cake. I just love Pedro, the way he gets girls. Just give them something.
Yeah.
That
Well,
usually
it's also very sweet.
works in high school, you know?
Yeah.
Like, hey, here's this.
Romantic gesture.
Do you love me now? Napoleon explains his old girlfriend was going to go with him, but she is too busy modeling. He shows a picture, and it's the one Deb showed him
the
earlier.
one that she left him.
She's pretty hot.
Yeah, I went to the mall and got her some glamour shots.
Yeah. Now we're at lunch. This is where we get the classic, are you going to eat your tots? And he like takes
stuffs them in his weird jean pockets.
Yeah, which now those type of pants are super in style though.
Really?
They're just essentially like jogging pants.
Oh, I guess.
Like running pants, essentially.
Maybe his shoes are really what gets me.
Well, it's weird because this is I don't know when this is supposed to be taking place. I'm assuming like early 2000s or something, but everybody's kind of dressed in the 80s almost.
Yeah.
Like there's really no new cars, but I'm assuming it's like a play on, it's a small town. Everybody's like 2 decades behind.
Yeah, they all go to the same thrift store to buy their clothes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whatever Goodwill has, essentially.
Yeah, the locals have donated.
Yeah. So he sees Deb and it's like he makes Pedro dare him to go talk to her. He sits down at his table. I see you. I see you're drinking 1%. Is that because you think you're fat? Because you're not. You could be drinking whole if you wanted to.
What a compliment.
I'm totally losing my voice.
She's got the bread on her face.
Yeah.
It changed places.
She's so uncomfortable. He then tells her all her stuff is in her locker. They get it, and he asks for a keychain since he returned it. And then he gets it, and he's like so excited, he kicks his locker and runs away. And like everybody's like, "What the heck was that?"
It's so weird.
And now we're with Grandma, who's riding the desert dune. She crashes.
Awesome.
She just takes like a giant jump. And she
Her
just falls
face.
immediately off.
She's like, oh.
Yeah. Well, we'll learn is she broke her coccyx.
Yes.
We then see someone that will learn that is Uncle Rico practicing his football moves.
Oh my gosh.
Like we hear a phone call happening.
This fucking guy.
He's ridiculous. He's a creep. That's for
How
sure.
does he have a phone?
I don't know. He's got one in his van though.
Car phone.
Right. And now we're back to school. Napoleon is eating his tots in class. Then the guy next to him asks for tots. It's like, give me your tots. No,
Get your
stop. These are mine. He refuses and squishes his tots. Freaking idiot. Now we're back at home. We see Uncle Rico. We see Uncle Rico pulling up to their house. He explains that Grandma broke her coccyx.
He said it weird though.
Yeah, coccyx. I don't know. He pronounced it weird or something like that. Rico is eating steaks. It's the only thing he eats.
Yeah.
Boy's not going to make it to 50.
Meat and cheese.
Napoleon doesn't want him to stay, but Kip does. Rico shows him a video he made. It's essentially just him passing the ball.
Doing his football moves.
This is pretty much the worst video ever made.
I'm with you.
Kip, there's a lot of videos. There's no way we'd be able to know that. Rico and Kip, they're going out to eat together. We learn that Rico is single.
Hang on.
Go ahead.
Whatever, like Napoleon leaves and then Uncle Rico he's like, whoa, look at that. And he puts his hand on Kip's leg.
Yeah, and then Kip starts moving over. He's like very uncomfortable by it. Because I don't know, Rico gives me bad vibes.
Yes. Man, he's just desperate to go back in time.
Yes, and he touches people and
Oh,
talks
God.
to them weird. It's so
creepy.
he's such a creep. But yeah, so Rico and Kip are out together. We learn that Rico is single. Kip says him and an internet girlfriend are getting pretty serious, and he's trying to save money to bring her down. Rico says he has an idea to make some money. Have you ever heard of nylon Palmer? Tupperware.
Yeah.
Pedro and Napoleon are dropping off a cake for Summer. This is funny. It's just like
They sneak in.
ding dong dick, just some
Ding
cake
dong
to her.
dick. Then he jumps on the
Yeah,
pegs of his
yeah.
bicycle.
Like, head out. There's a lot of doing something and then immediately running away as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Kip and Rico, they're eating steaks on the front porch. He's reminiscing about back in 82. He says, back in 82, I could throw a pigskin a quarter mile.
You believe that?
Nope.
Kip's like, yeah.
Yeah, oh man, I bet you could. Oh, I bet you could. He then throws his steak at Napoleon while he's on the bike, hits him straight in the face.
Grabs Kip's steak.
Oh. Rico, Kip, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Rico, how much you want to bet I could throw one of these over the mountain?
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's Patrick Mahomes, he's got an arm like Rico.
Then he gets so serious, like,
yeah.
God, I got to go back in time.
He's like, oh man, I could have been pro.
Yeah, definitely would have gone pro.
Then he asks Kip, so you're like well with the cyberspace, right? Is there anything on there where I could maybe go back in time? And Kip, he's like, oh, trust me, I've already looked it up. Napoleon plays the, what do we call it? The game, the ball?
Tetherball.
He's trying to impress the girls, so he starts hitting it super hard.
And starts doing like jump kicks.
Yeah. Then we see Summer. She comes over and asks Napoleon to give him a card to Pedro. He opens the card up and it just reads, no. Poor Napoleon.
But she still used little hearts for exclamation points.
Yeah, at least you put some hearts on it. We see Napoleon. Napoleon waiting for the bus. Deb come up and ask what he's drawing. It's like, what are you drawing? A liger? What's a liger? Oh, it's pretty much my favorite animal. It's like a lion and tiger mix, bred for skills and magic.
Yeah.
Deb then asks about Pedro. He's like, where's Pedro? It's like, he's not here today. Rico picks Napoleon up. Deb seems bummed that he had to leave. Napoleon makes a phone call, and it's, of course, the one on the court. And he takes it all the way outside to the front porch.
Man.
We see he's calling Pedro. I guess, like, Pedro's sister answers, and he's like, is Pedro there? He's like, no, he's super sick. Okay, bye. They just runs in, hangs up. And then
she's like, your name is Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah. And then we see that Kip and Rico, they're planning their like sales route or whatever. Then we see that they're out bowling. And this is where you have Kip. He throws the bowl down. Please. And
they've got the gates on the sides for kids.
It's like it doesn't
and it's
matter.
going back and forth.
I just love, please. Yes.
My daughter did that last night. It was so funny.
Really?
Yeah, because I told her, it's like, all right, we got to do this, but you don't have to, do this other thing. She's like silent, fist down, like, yes.
I did it. I'm amazing.
I got out of doing something.
That's awesome. So Rico asked about his transportation issues. We learned that he doesn't have a car or anything. He's working on it. He says he'll let him borrow the van. Rico says they need to look legit and wants to get their picture taken. Then we cut to Deb taking their pictures. This scene is so quiet, soothing, and extremely relaxing. This is it's like a ASMR randomly in the middle of this movie.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Because she's so quiet and she's like, just put your arm under here.
Yes. That's beautiful.
Like this?
That's amazing.
That's it. Because at the end of it, he's like, whoa, that was relaxing.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap, dude. And I was super tired this morning watching this. And I was like, I could just watch this on loop and fall asleep. It's awesome. Love it. So we cut to the next day at lunch. We learn that Pedro got sick. Napoleon tells him Summer said no. And we learn Pedro asked Deb out. And he's like, oh, you did? Napoleon is pissed. And while talking, Deb comes up and gives him a piece of paper, gives Pedro a piece of paper, and it says yes.
I thought it was even funny how they folded the paper.
Yeah, like 15 times.
Yeah, a bunch, and then it was upside down once you opened it.
It's like of course that would happen. Napoleon is worried that he has nobody to ask out now. He doesn't have any good skills. Like nunchuck skills, bow hunting skills, computer hacking skills.
He's right.
Girls only want boyfriends who have great skills.
So true.
Pedro's like, well, what can he do? And he's like, I can draw. We'll draw him a picture of a girl, and if she likes it, she'll give it to her. It's so funny. So at home, he's going through his yearbook, and he finds Trisha Stevens. He starts drawing her immediately.
It's a black and white photo. And, oh, goodness gracious.
I can't wait. We cut to Rico selling Tupperware.
Immediately starts drawing, and it's already bad.
Yeah, it's already bad. It's like as soon as he did the giant U, I'm like, uh-oh. So we cut to Rico. He's selling some Tupperware. Yeah. We learned that if you buy 24 pieces of Tupperware, they get a sailboat.
I love this.
As soon as he brings it out, the girl's like, I want that.
Yes.
Which was a very successful sale.
Yeah, he gives.
Totally
he's like,
worked.
see if you look like a strong pup. See if you can break this.
He's like trying to rip it up.
His wife is looking at him so disappointedly.
Just like try, and then he starts. I can't.
He puts his head down. He's so ashamed.
And then we cut to Kip trying to sell the Tupperware. He puts it under the van and runs over it, and it just essentially explodes. He's like, "Dang it!" And then just immediately drives off. That's probably like the one of the best visual gags in it. Dang it! Cracked me up.
Jesus Christ.
So Napoleon goes to Trisha's, but she isn't there. We see Rico in her living room. It's like, oh, that's my nephew, Napoleon.
Oh,
he hands off his letter to the mom. Rico tells Trisha's mom that Napoleon is a very tender boy and still wets the bed.
Oh, what a piece of shit.
Oh, Rico's the worst. We cut to Napoleon putting Kip in a headlock. Why the heck was Uncle Rico at my girlfriend's house? Just immediately call him a girlfriend. Rico comes home and him and Napoleon kind of have a little fight. Rico and Kip brag about how much money they make. It's like, you see this? This is a check for $115. Kip, I made $75.
I can make that in 5 seconds.
Yeah. We cut to Trisha at home. Trisha opens the gift. It's a horribly drawn picture. The mom comes up behind him. You're going to the dance with that boy.
Because she feels so bad for the boy.
Yeah.
Like because of Uncle Rico, right? Because he's a tender child.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. He's special.
So Napoleon is at a chicken house, I guess, chicken barn, to make some money.
Yes.
He finds it super gross. He's carrying two chickens. He's like, oh, idiot. Pushes it in and then starts running.
Oh, I had to work at a chicken house for a while.
I did. I actually thought it was kind of fun. But I was a child.
I was an adult.
Yeah. Sorry for that, Mike Boone. My dog was getting pets and she couldn't handle it and bumped the thing. It's okay. It's okay. I just wanted to explain it because it was also kind of cute to see happen. She's super interested in that mic stand for whatever reason. And then we cut to lunch at the chicken farm. And it's the grossest thing because we see it's a spread. It's sandwiches, eggs, and then what looks like because then it's also like hard-boiled eggs.
Yes.
And then what looks to be orange juice until one of the farm guys cracks the egg and dumps it into the thing. I'm like, this is just raw eggs. This is the grossest thing ever. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah. It's like, takes a sip. Like,
oh, man.
Then he gets home, and like before that, it's like, oh, I don't have my checkbook with you. I'm going to have to pay you in change. He's like, and then he gets home, he counts it, $6? That's $1 an hour. Terrible. So it makes me think maybe it is the 80s if that's the amount they got paid.
No, I think it's just those people.
Yeah,
they
terrible.
Fucked them over because they knew they could. It was a bunch of teenage boys.
Yeah, like grown up posing as a teenage boy and then the actual high schoolers.
Yeah.
So Trisha calls and tells them that she will go to the dance with him. Her mom is next to her, essentially telling her what to say.
Forcing her to do it.
Yeah. And we learn it took him 3 hours to draw the pic. Or as 3 hours alone on the shading above your lip.
Upper lip. It's so bad.
We cut to Napoleon. He's bragging about it. They talk about what they're going to wear. This is to Pedro. They go to a store and Napoleon buys a woman's suit.
I do like the suit. It looks good.
But he looks hella good.
Yeah.
He's just like walking down the street. I'm like, hell yeah. What are you, John Travolta and Staying Alive?
It's a nice suit.
Or is it Saturday Night Fever? Staying Alive is the sequel. And so we're back at home. He asks Rico to give him a ride to Trisha's. Rico has to make a sale first, we learn. He's like, what the heck?
Oh, man.
When they go to the cell, Rico is taking too long. I mean, he essentially was in there 1 minute, then he immediately goes and knocks on the door, and that's like 5:40. And then he's like, oh, screw it. And then he just starts running down the road because he's going to run there. Then for whatever reason, he decides to stop. And then he checks his watch again. It's been 14 minutes. Then we see this car coming down.
Hell yeah.
And it's like a lowrider. Then 2 Latino guys pick him up. And we learned it's like, so you guys are Pedro's cousins? And
to the rescue. I love these guys.
They go to Pedro's house. The dad answers. He's like, who are you? Napoleon, I'm here to pick up your daughter. What is that? My ride.
It's the 2
and
it's
guys. Got his what do they call it? The shocks or
yeah.
What do they call that? I can't even remember. I used to know.
Yeah, it's just like bumping
hydraulics.
Up and down. Yeah,
the hydraulics in the car. Yeah.
So
and then we cut to and it's like Trish is in the front seat and Napoleon's in the back. It's so great. So we're at the dance. They go and sit. Trisha obviously hates being there. He asks her to dance and she immediately walks away and goes to hang out with Summer. Then Napoleon goes to the bathroom to freshen up and eat beef jerky, it looked like.
Beef breath gets him every time.
Exactly. Trisha and Summer, they walk off. Trisha first looks over at Napoleon because I guess she wasn't going to leave him. She just went to go talk, but seeing that he was gone, she's like, all right, I'm out. Cool.
Yeah.
And now Napoleon is alone. And then when the edit, it's like Napoleon's standing up, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, there's Pedro and Deb right next to him. So now they're hanging out. Pedro, because he's the best guy ever, lets Napoleon and Deb dance. I like your sleeves. They're real big. He asks if Pedro and Deb are getting serious. She says no. He asks about her photography and offers him free self-portraits. Then they dance, and it's kind of an iconic scene.
It's very sweet.
Man, that's how I felt in my life.
The
The soundtrack kind of rules. Soundtrack is great in this. So Pedro sees a sign for class president as he goes to get a drink of water while they're dancing, and he smiles. This is when we get the vote for Pedro.
Hell yeah.
Pedro's gonna run for class president.
Yeah, it's your chance, Pedro.
Pedro, do you think people will vote for me? Napoleon, heck yes, I'd vote for you. What are my skills? Well, you have a sweet bike. You're really good at hooking up with chicks. Plus, you're like the only guy at school who can have a mustache. Yes. That's true.
It's cool how good friends they are.
I know, it's very sweet. Napoleon is going to help, and he can be his secretary or something. Napoleon says, I'd be a great bodyguard.
With his nunchuck skills.
The worst bodyguard. Napoleon sees a contraption on his kitchen table. This is back at home. Kip says that it's Rico's time machine. He decides to try it out. So, and he has to put this metal tube between his, up against his crotch and something around his head. And when they turn it on, it's just straight up electrocuting him.
Electrocutes your balls.
It's a piece of crap. It doesn't work. Rico comes in.
Rico walking.
I could tell you that. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so funny. God dang, bro.
Okay. All right.
You're dying over there.
Yeah.
I love it. They go to the store and he's still walking like he's hurt. Rico's super loud and he's super cheap because every time he brings him something, 24-pack, what do you think I'm made out of? It's and then we see Summer as the cashier. It's super embarrassing for him. And then we see Napoleon. He's at the National FFA organization.
Yeah, he's good at this.
He's I guess it's like a competition. He's drinking milk and guessing their defects. The first one is that one has bleach in it.
Yeah,
and I don't even remember what the second one was.
Mixed with gasoline.
Gasoline.
And then this one tastes like Cal got an onion patch.
Yeah, exactly.
I just love that they gave him gasoline.
I know. It's what the heck? And then Pedro's having to judge the cow udders. And he's like, oh, this udder looks good. It's got 4, except you can see in the back. And that's a 5th one, and they're only supposed to have 4. And everybody's like, oh, yes. Wow, very
it's the
good.
only one that spotted it.
Yeah. It's what? That's what FFA was. I think I could probably do it. If I had to taste bleach and onions and know how many udders they should have. We then see Summer. She's also running for class president. Pedro is feeling super hot for some reason. He's like,
he's got the wig too.
Well, not yet. So this is just his regular hair. And he's like, is it getting hot in here? And I'm assuming it's just because he's so nervous and anxious about the
Maybe. I thought he was just sick.
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. I'm like,
know.
did he have like a disease or something? I tried to look in the facts and I was like, what was he supposed to be going through? He says his head is burning. We see Pedro, he goes home to lay down. Dawn, the bully, comes up and asks him to vote for Summer. Napoleon asks for a button and then just tosses it down the hallway and runs off.
Awkwardly throws it.
He throws it with so much like conviction and power and then just runs off. It's so funny.
Yeah.
So Kip and Rico, they're out eating. Rico is still wishing he could go back to the 82 because he could have just scored the touchdown and everything would have been different.
He'd be a millionaire. We
learn that Kip's girl is named La Fonda. And that she's coming to visit him soon. Napoleon goes to visit Pedro. We see Pedro was so hot from school and decided it was his hair that was making him so hot, so he shaved it. He's just sitting outside with a hoodie on. So Napoleon says he has an idea, and he takes Pedro to go to Deb's to find him a wig. It's, again, immediately 100% soothing, the scene. They decide on one, and they both go to reach for it and touch hands, and it's like,
I love, it's love.
It's love. It's
but
true
no,
love,
I loved
man.
her backdrops.
Yeah.
Like, what was that branded Trapper Keeper? That's what it's kind of reminded Lisa something.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know any brands of
neither.
Trapper Keepers.
You know, they were like had stars and unicorns and like dolphins.
Oh,
and
yeah.
shit.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So now that Pedro has a wig, he is ready to go to school. Just love it. It's iconic because you just see him with his giant wig and then vote for Pedro shirt on Napoleon. They tape up all their flyers. It's Pedro riding a unicorn.
Yes.
Classic. Did you ever have a vote for Pedro shirt? I did.
No, I never had one.
Did. I think I got it for Christmas or my birthday from somebody once.
It's pretty sweet.
It was dope. I wore it often. A bully asks a kid for 50 cents and then starts shaking him. Napoleon just takes him by the back of the head, just shake it. It's like, okay, dude, what is this? Napoleon sees this and tells the nerdy kid that Pedro offers him protection. Then we see the kid is getting bullied again at the bike rack, and then Pedro's cousins come up and just stare him, and he runs off. So great. So were they just driving around the school waiting for a kid to get bullied?
Yeah, I think so.
So Kip is at the bus station now waiting for La Fonda. She's this tall black woman, and they smooch. A perfect match, we learn. I love it. It's sweet.
It is very sweet.
As comical it is, it's also kind of really
She's
sweet.
She's so much taller than him.
Yeah, definitely.
Man.
Trisha and Summer are walking home just randomly, and Rico stops to talk to them. Rico asks them to give flyers to their mom so that she can hand out. The flyers are for breast enhancement supplements.
Jeez, Rico. Can you be any creepier?
And then to make it even worse, once you ladies are ready to fill out, come talk to me. It's like,
yes,
throw up. But Rico's a dang ass freak. I don't know. He's a crazy man and needs to be put in jail. And then they put all their flyers on
his
Napoleon's
girlfriend
lockers.
left him because she was jealous.
Yeah, apparently. Not because he was a terrible person living in his van.
Living back in 82.
Yeah. So we see Kip and La Fonda. They're flirting in the park. She takes off his glasses and gives him a big, giant golden necklace.
Yes.
And then they play footsie, and he's got like his gross sock on, rubbing her bare feet.
Yeah, it looks like hose.
Yeah. Like pantyhose?
Yes, pantyhose.
It's like hose. So Rico is driving, then splat, Napoleon threw an orange at his car. They kind of have a standoff and like trying to juke him out, throwing another orange. Napoleon hits him with the orange, and then Rico just tackles him.
It's so funny, like, because you kind
You're
of
ruining
see
my life.
Yeah, but you can kind of see in their movements, like, kind of makes it look like this weird awkwardness that runs in the family.
Yeah, it's exactly. Rico is just as awkward as Napoleon was. He had no chance of becoming a famous football player. Then he's like, get off, you're ruining my life. Would you just go away? Just like hits him in the stomach and runs off and jumps the fence. Just like falls on his face. Then we cut to Pedro. We're back at school, and you just see a pinata of Summer is being hit by some kids.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then we cut to Napoleon at Goodwill buying a bunch of random stuff, and then you see Dequan's dance tape.
Yeah.
And then we see Pedro getting in trouble for his pinata. It's like, I don't know how they do it in Juarez, but we have respect around here. Then we see Napoleon in his room. He puts in the tape of Dequan's dance tape.
Hell yeah.
And
he's got the Pegasus Xing crossing
exactly.
on his door.
God, he's so cool. And so Pedro is in trouble for the piñata, but he's still able to run for president. He doesn't understand why it's okay to smash a piñata in Mexico, but not here.
It's different cultures.
Just different cultures. We see it as a threat.
Napoleon, it's cool.
Yeah, it's rad. I would love someone to smash a piñata out of me. Maybe that's what like couples should do whenever they're really upset. They just go smash piñata versions of their spouses.
That's genius.
So Napoleon comes home and La Fonda is in the kitchen. Napoleon is super sweaty. He tells her he is dancing. She's like, "Oh, you like to dance? I didn't know that."
Working on my sweet dance moves or something.
Yeah, Kip comes in completely dressed differently.
Yeah, it was like gangster.
He's gangster now. La Fonda gives Napoleon a mixtape from, I guess, her cousin or something. And Kip thinks La Fonda is his soulmate.
He seems happy.
Yeah, he does. Hey. He might look ridiculous now, but
he looks ridiculous.
He looked ridiculous
but
before.
He's being nicer.
Yeah, exactly.
He's happy.
He's happy. And then at Deb's studio, Rico is there for more pictures. While she is setting up the shot, Rico starts moving to her, and it gets real weird. Looks like he's about to come on to her, but he gives her the breast enlargement flyer, and he says that Napoleon said she would want this.
No, girl,
like, Rico, you douche. But he's so mad at him. You know he did that on purpose.
Yes.
Then we cut to Napoleon dancing. He's just seeing like in the crack of the door him dancing.
He's getting it.
Then we see that he gets a phone call and he cuts to Deb. She's just by a random road in the middle of nowhere next to a payphone. It's like, why would you do that there? And she calls Napoleon a shallow friend. It's real sad. It is
very sad.
Then
so bad for
Napoleon goes outside, tells Rico to leave because he's ruining his life. I'll call the cops. It's like, fine, call the cops on me. Maybe I will. Gosh. He calls Pedro instead of the cops, though. And so, like, they're on the phone having the conversation. Pedro's like, do you have anything to give her? This is his go-to. Just give her something. Napoleon asks if he is ready for his speech tomorrow, and Pedro says yes. The next day, Napoleon catches a bus with his Vote for Pedro shirt on. Rico is making a self to Starla, Rex's girl from earlier.
Yes.
He is pushing the breast enhancements on her, but she is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Rico kind of is trying to put his flirt on.
Gross.
But then we see Rico comes home.
Rex
comes home, and Rico is putting the pots over. It's like, they could be about this big. And then Rex just beats up Rico. Thank God. Got a roundhouse to the face.
Breaks his arm.
Yeah. We are at school now where Summer gives her speech. With me, it will be summer all year long.
Oh,
she gets a pretty big clap for that.
She's the popular one.
We learned that she has to perform a skit now, and Pedro did not know they were supposed to perform a skit.
Shit.
He's like, oh no, I'm going to lose now. Then Summer comes out, and her skit is a dance, and it's to the Backstreet Boys song, Larger Than Life. Super lame. And it's about to get outdid.
But her boyfriend is loving it.
Yeah, he loved it. He's like, yeah, you say that? Yeah. So Pedro thinks he's going to lose now, and he's like all bummed out. He's like, I'll just go out there and just tell everybody I don't have a lot to say. So Pedro comes out to do a speech like, I don't really have anything to say. And while giving this speech, Napoleon comes up with an idea. And then at the end of the speech, if you vote for me, all your wildest dreams will come true.
Yes.
And then after the speech, Napoleon comes out and dances, and it's iconic.
It's so great.
It's great. And I love that. It's just, I don't know. I love that the crowd loves it.
Yeah.
I love that the song ends in the middle of it because he has no idea how long the song takes. And just his run away from it immediately. But everybody would try to do this dance in high school. It's funny.
I never saw anyone try to do the whole thing.
It's just like if you're just alone with your friends, it's like, let's do the Napoleon Dynamite. And then you just start moving like them. And it's like, we're cool. Yeah, I just love that the crowd goes wild. And then the boyfriend and Summer are just like, oh, whatever, this sucks. And we see Napoleon is walking around and sees Kip and La Fonda getting on a bus to leave. He says his grandma's hanging out with Tina. Rico is throwing his football around.
Tina.
Yeah. Rico's throwing his football around, and a girl bikes up to him and smiles.
Oh God!
And then
that's his old girlfriend that left him.
Yeah, I don't know. Is this
so.
like a?
I think it's supposed to be.
Is it okay?
It's kind of happy ending for Uncle Rico.
I just feel like Rico shouldn't get one.
He doesn't really deserve it.
Yeah, Pedro's having a party because he's now the class president. Napoleon
incredibly happy.
Yeah.
His family is so happy.
There's like, yeah.
His cousins roll up and
they're hitting a pinata in the background. Napoleon is playing tetherball. Deb comes up to him. I caught you a delicious bass. Want to play with me?
What the fuck?
No. Just carrying around a bass in a piece of tinfoil all day.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, I think so. They play together and Napoleon is intense with it. He just like starts hitting it really hard. She's like, I'm just trying to catch it. The first hit he does hits her right in the face too. But it's love. Everyone got a happy ending and the movie's over.
Or is it?
But wait, there's more. Because after credits, Kip and La Fonda get married.
Oh, man.
It pans through the family. You see everyone's there. Pedro, the grandma, Rico. Rico's like, where's Napoleon? It pans to the black family, and I guess like it's her brother. Just like puts his head down in disbelief.
They're all in shock.
Yeah.
What's happening?
And then Kip sings a song. Why do you love me?
I still love technology. But not as much as you.
Not as much as you, but I still love technology. And then after the song, Napoleon comes riding up on a horse.
He's getting...
Sorry, I'm late.
I think riding is a bit much.
I just got done training a wild honeymoon stallion for you guys. Kip and La Fonda get on.
He gets on behind her.
Looky, a little keepsake for you guys. Rico, and he throws the garter or whatever it is.
Rico
catches it. Napoleon, lucky. The end.
Oh, man.
Man, what a movie,
blast.
Dude. It's so good. It's, I found this to be one of the harder movies to take notes on. I had to pause it 500 times.
Just so you wouldn't miss
every
anything.
line is funny. Every little detail about the movie is what makes it so good, which is so wild. It's just crazy at what, I'm assuming they're just using, the sets as they are, right? Definitely in the Napoleon house because there's so many weird little pictures in the background, like classic 90s bad, like photography and stuff.
I see.
Where you got it's like a self-portrait, but you have one like in
Behind
the lower
the
half,
other, yeah.
and then you have the same person in the picture, but like on the top corner, just doing a different pose.
Like half ghost.
Yeah, exactly. And it really just, I don't know. It just, you can see the comedy in like a lot of people just out, like, the memes. I feel like, I don't know. It even like, it was doing memes before we were doing memes or something. I don't know.
Eat your ham.
It's great. It's just, every time I watch it, I'm like, man, this movie's so iconic and crazy. But it's not really a movie that you hear, like anytime someone brings up Napoleon Dynamite, everybody's like, yes, I love that movie. But it's not really just like a movie a lot of people talk about.
Right.
Even though, if you can compare it with like another movie that is kind of iconic and has a ton of quotes and stuff like Anchorman.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of find it funnier than Anchorman.
I do too sometimes. And I think the awkwardness of that, I felt so awkward all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was funny.
It's
awkward.
Kind of relatable. It's a very relatable, man, high school. It's so awkward.
We sucked in high school.
Just the worst. And why did we ever have to go there? It's terrible. No one should have to go to high school. We're not prepared to be around people. At least that's how I felt.
Sure.
All right, so we're going to go to our first category, the good, the bad, the ugly, the fine. The good is where we discuss something we thought was good about the movie, a scene, a quote, a performance, whatever you got to say. The bad is something that you don't like about the movie or around the movie or something. The ugly is something that didn't age well. The fine is something that did age well. You want to start with the good?
Sure. I thought the good for me was just like how heartwarming it could be sometimes.
Yes. Strangely heartwarming. I love when comedies just kind of hit you with like, oh, I didn't realize I was falling in love with the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think like the characters are so good. Just so iconic.
It's just
such little budget.
So unique.
The weird offbeat comedy is great. Jon Heder is fantastic in this, and I hope he makes a comeback and just starts kind of crushing.
Yes.
I know he produces a lot, and there's like some TV stuff that they do, but I just really want him to come back.
Come back to us.
Do Napoleon Dynamite 2. It's where Napoleon's older and he has a kid.
Oh man.
And he's just the same. So for me, the bad is that I'm getting older. And this movie's 20 years old.
Shut the fuck up.
Depressing. I was like, no, I was in school when this was out.
Oh, man, I wish we could go back in time.
But like the bad is actually a good thing. It's just because like, I don't know, this movie's so timeless. It just makes me feel old because it's like,
yeah.
I don't know.
It's made to look old, I feel.
Yeah. And it's just
because there's like, I guess really not everybody had a cell phone at this point. The iPhone wasn't even out yet.
Yeah, I don't believe so. It's 04.
So, yeah, I don't know. It definitely made me feel old seeing that.
Yeah.
It does every time.
What do you got for the ugly? Well, ours is probably the same, I'm assuming.
I don't know. It was, I guess, just like I got bullied too, even though I was a big guy.
Yeah, bullying is not good.
It sucked, but I feel like Napoleon took it so well.
He did. I always felt like he got last say. He always beat everybody in the end.
Yeah.
Mine was Rico's creepiness.
Yes. Oh God, it was so bad.
No good, very bad guy.
Oh God.
And what do you got for age the best?
Maybe the fashion.
Yeah.
The 80s fashion.
Yeah, it really did. The fashion, like, people should dress like this.
Yeah.
Like, if everybody went to dances in suits like that, that'd be the best.
Badass suit.
Mine was offbeat comedy.
Yeah.
Because we've had nothing but offbeat comedy ever since this movie came out. It's great. So, what do you got for our next category is double feature.
So this almost happened to me watching I think I watched this on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
And then right after it was going to play Dodgeball.
Oh, really?
And
for me, it was Super Troopers.
No, it was Super Troopers. Yeah. Man, Super Troopers is so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that movie has the funniest, like, first, like, 20 minutes. Or that intro, the scene with them pulling over the kids in the car.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I ever laughed that hard at a movie. When I saw it, yeah.
Yeah, it makes me really want to laugh right meow.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch it. It's been forever. It had to be since like high school since I've last watched Super Troopers. It's been that long ago.
Another movie my wife will hate.
Yep. So my double feature is Eagle versus Shark. You ever seen it?
That sounds incredible.
Taika Waititi directed it. I think it's like his first film that he did. It's got Jermaine Clement in it. It's essentially the guys behind What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, yeah.
It's this. It's awesome. Very dry, offbeat comedy. It's very awkward. I remember being in high school and someone coming up to me and be like, you should watch Eagle versus Shark. It reminded me of you. And I was like, I watched
Is that a compliment?
It was not a compliment.
Oh, no.
I mean, the movie's really funny, but I was like, reminded you. I'm like, I'm hoping just because it's funny and I'm kind of awkward
and you make
funny.
Them laugh.
But like the dude in it is super douchey.
Oh.
He's kind of like he's a meaner version of Napoleon Dynamite. Yeah.
Because that's usually how
it's very awkward
they
comedy.
were in my high school, at least.
Yeah, but it's a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. I think you'll actually really love
want
it.
to now.
Yeah, I need to rewatch it. But that's immediately, anytime I watch Napoleon Dynamite, I always think about this movie as well. It's just a love story, essentially. But yeah, so that's the episode this week. And join us next week as we cover Dune. We're bringing back Dakota. We're really pumped up about Dune Part 2, so make sure you join us next week. And also, if you'd like to leave us an email, you can send us one at werecommendmailbag@gmail.com. So yeah, if you hear this part and just send us an email, just tell us we're doing a good job or something. We'll shout you out. We don't have to shout you out if you don't want to. We'll just read your email without your name or anything. But yeah, so leave us an email. If you want to follow us on social media, the quickest way to get there is through our link tree. And it's also a good place if you want to listen to us on a different streaming platform. You can follow at linktree/we recommend podcasts. I'm getting really fast at this all of a sudden. I don't know why. And I'd like to thank Joey Prosser for our intro and outro. You can follow him on X at Mr. Joey Prosser. And that's it, man.
Hell yeah.
Thank you for
play some video games.
listening. Hell yeah. I have to edit.
Nice.
So, this has been the We Recommend Milk. Wow.
Cast.
This has been the We Recommend podcast. I've been Jesse.
That was Jason.
And your mom's going to college.
Yeah, she is.
Bye.
Bye.